Hello!
Hello!
Welcome back
Woo!
to another sexy, awesome stream.
Sexy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a striptease. Surprise.
We
Just
are
kidding, it's not.
radiating sexual energy.
Are we?
I don't know. We could.
Moving on.
We could, if we wanted to.
I mean, if you're into it. But...
Welcome back, everyone, to our delightful stream.
Get rid of that.
Yes, Brody's bringing up dialogue boxes. We're back at it with Ace Attorney, and we are going to get Gant. He has had it too good for too long, and he needs to be punished. So, let's just get into it, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking to this fish.
Right. All right.
Dark investigation.
Talk to us. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. See? Told you. Sexual energy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister? The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret. But you don't have proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us, save Goodman, were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used? Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He'd produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence, you mean? Oh yes, there were rumors about him, even back then. No one dared confront him, though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from his shock. Losing focus. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief? That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. At last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Okay.
That's it for her?
I guess so.
Yeah, moving on. What were we up to again? We were trying to...
We want to investigate his office, but he left it, and we blabbed to... What's his face? Gumshoe, that we wanted to get in there, and so he won't let us in. But we can try.
Yeah, let's see what's going to happen here. Criminal Affairs Department. Aha.
Oh, you're back. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ. I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there. There's gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. And we do have something to show him. We got it from Edgeworth.
What was it again?
It was this, I think. Neil's autopsy report.
Okay.
Oh. What? Wait, we already did all...
Yeah, we already tried all this. That's right. Anything to talk to him about? No.
I thought we got that from Edgeworth, and it was like a new piece of evidence.
Yeah.
Did anything get updated? Broken tip of the knife? Yeah, we already did all this.
Goodbye. Okay. Well.
Detention center?
Yeah, let's
talk to Lana?
Present.
Maybe present the autopsy report to her? No business showing evidence outside of court is taboo, especially when the interests of both parties are involved. She really means it. Lana. Okay. Can we show it to Angel, maybe?
Oh, shit. Yeah, let's go. Let's go to Angel. Back to Angel.
I don't have anything else to tell you. Miss Starr. The only thing I can give you now is a poppy seed rice set. Talk about cheap. Eat this, and maybe you'll be able to tell black from white in court tomorrow.
Let's go back here.
Can we present him with like the photo? Did we try that already? This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? The trophy, I think we already did this, but the trophy Mr. Marshall is holding, it's a little different than yours. Yeah, we did that. Yes, you're right. I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think we did.
Etc., etc. There's a story behind the design. It's about... Yeah, it's called Contradiction.
Yeah.
So he gave us the autopsy report.
Yes.
Is there anything else we can show him? The vase? The vase. Show him the vase. Did we show him the vase?
I don't know, but let's... You see, stay time, cause death.
And the protocol in this case, you don't expect me to sit here and discuss the case over a cup of tea. I'll pass on the tea, just tell me about the case. Mr. Wright, Mr. Edward just told you no. Yeah, that's his rejection dialogue. Wait, what did the last thing say?
I don't know.
Well, it said something about maybe if I show him evidence, maybe it just said, maybe if I show him evidence in court.
You want me to redo it?
No, I don't know. It feels like we have to do something with Gumshoe, right?
Yeah, because that's like another scene happened with him, right?
Yeah. So maybe now that that other scene has happened, maybe there's something we can show him, even though we went through everything last time?
Yeah, maybe.
So he doesn't care about the autopsy report, which is super weird.
I don't think there's anything to examine.
What else can we present? The photo?
Did we already do this?
Yeah. So try showing the photo again.
Yeah.
The list of ID numbers. That's the ID card record, huh? Yes, there's only one number left to investigate. At 4:20 p.m. The victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number.
We might have done this already, too.
7777777. This one's 7 too many. An executive officer, I just might have a hunch. Okay, if we're up here, can we just move to the office?
I don't think we can.
Lost item report, huh? You knew what it was right off the bat. I think we've done this already. I'm a master of misplacement. Master? That has such a cool ring to it. The way I see it, things are meant to be lost and they're meant to be lost. There's a higher power at work here. Wow, a higher power. Maybe I shouldn't let Emma hold any evidence. Can you... About that jaw, I think I've seen it somewhere before. Somewhere? Maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives. This must be the most uninformed detective I've ever met. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the Chief's office and he's yelling at me. Chief Gant? Where could I have seen that before? Can you show the photo now?
Yeah, I'm going to.
No, it doesn't care. Can we look at the photo and, like, clock that the, like, just, like, and click on the vase?
No.
Can we look at the autopsy report and click on anything?
No, I tried.
can we go back to the other room, the evidence locker?
Maybe she'll have a... No. You got presenter with this. See what she does.
Here, see this? Ah, I've noticed that defense attorneys have a tendency to want to show people things. What is this, a behavioral study of lawyers? Okay, so she doesn't care.
I don't think we're gonna get anywhere.
Wait, is it? Do we get? We don't get to the evidence locker from the police department entrance, do we? No. No. Okay.
I don't think we can go back there.
Okay. Oh yeah, we should want to look at the evidence. Can we show you, my dude? Detective, here's my attorney's badge. You show this to me every time we meet, pal. Yes, I do. Real men show the police badge? Yes, I remember that. I'm inclined to look this up, because we already, like, spent the end of last thing doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad, but it's like...
I know, I don't really like looking for answers, but at this point it's unclear. Like, I feel like we got this, and then we are here with him and had another scene with him.
Yeah.
Like,
what else are we supposed to show?
Game, what the fuck?
Alright, let's see. This is chapter 3. Or chapter...
This is chapter 5.
The Badger, etc., etc. So, let's see here. Is it... We did... Trial ladder. Witness testimony writing code. We talked to Marshall already. Talked to Gumshoes. It says to... We did that. Yeah. Okay, go back to Edgeworth's office. Examine this room. Click on that ball of paper under the desk. I wonder what he was writing before.
Right! Should have investigated that.
Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him. I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe at the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground! Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. He didn't even look. What? Letter of If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, Wright. I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. He's serious. Put it into the pocket. Alright, show it to Gumshoe, because he's obsessed with Edgeworth.
Yeah. Silly Gumshoe.
What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious! Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they've pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice, too. But I know different now. Are you muscling in on our man, Gumshoe? Because he's ours, so back off. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him. Detective. That's it. I've made up my mind. But... Here, take my ID card. We can't do that if someone found out. They wouldn't let you off the hook. They wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this, for Mr. Edgeworth's sake! Alright, Detective. Thank you. Finally.
Yeah, thank God.
We showed you every piece of evidence under the sun, but, you know, your illicit affair makes you, Now we can go. We're back, baby.
Here we go.
Here goes, Mr. Wright. Click. Beep. We're in! If anyone finds us now... Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Eek! Gah!
Blackout.
She hit him. Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Ah! Detective Gumshoe! What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. If you're here, then what's the point in giving us your ID card? Gumshoe's ID crushed and rendered unusable in pocket. Hey, don't do that to my card!
Why would you do that?
That is pretty rude. I hardly ever get a chance to come in here, so I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. You really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out. I've got a bad feeling about this. Let's examine!
Well, let's first see if there's anything to talk to him about.
Fine. That desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's? Hey, mister, it's my sister's. Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day, 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. It's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk? No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. There's a clue from when we talked to Gant earlier. He was writing something and he put it in the desk. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be... No. No, there's no way! Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay, now then, let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on! Not so fast, buddy! Huh? What is it? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to stop bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go like that. Sorry, this guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do ya? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him?
We think he's a suspect.
We think he's a suspect. Chief Gant, so it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet. There you go, ignoring me again.
Examine.
Examine.
Let's examine the other side first. First the desk. Oops.
No clues yet. This was Lana's desk. It sure is tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends are made of. Does he keep it in memory of her or in memory of the crime? These shelves are mostly empty.
It was the chair.
Me too. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey! This is when Lana and I went to that theme park.
Gutted. She didn't even care about our memories.
Yeah. Look at that giant window. It makes you want to crash through it and jump outside. Does it? This is the 15th floor. I know, I was just saying. Saying what? Ever since making detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired. Don't say that! I mean, we can look at the picture again. This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Joe Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma. After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here, then went along with Chief Gant to question Doc. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think?
I was hoping that we could then examine the photo closer up.
Yeah, me too. What can you do?
Guess it's not important. Okay, doesn't look like there's anything else.
Chief's organ sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing it from the Criminal Affairs Department. That's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th floor of an entirely different building. When a detective screws up, the chief calls them to his office and makes them listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except the ringing in their ears.
It's like abuse.
So it's an instrument of punishment, literally. But aren't the chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyway. That's beside the point. This is the real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons? Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care for imitations. First the pipe organ, now this armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room? What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes. You don't have any taxes to pay. Shh, be careful of what you say. Who knows? The chief may be hiding in his armor as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Cut it out! You guys don't know how scary that guy can be. Desk. Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk. Speaking of that, when we were here earlier... Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. Yes, he did. I wonder what he was reading. This looks like a list of evidence. A list of evidence? In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though. Hey, look at the case name! Huh? SL9 incident? I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, Detective. What did you just say? I said, I wonder what... No, about evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long. That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. A half-sized list of evidence. The list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists runs twice as long. What would the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it! The chief must be hiding something about that case! It would appear so. Evidence list added to the court record.
It was ripped in half.
This part is all I got. Can we look at it? Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk! We found this inside the drawer. A list of evidence from the SL9 incident. Mr. Edgeworth had the other half of that list. What would this list be doing here? We better look a little more into this list.
What?
Hello? A terrible drawing. I wonder what this is. It looks like someone drew some kind of sketch here. What is it? Did you find something? I can't make it out. Better keep quiet about it for now. Huh? Oh, no, it's nothing. Why are your eyes moving about like that, Mr. Wright? I better not forget about this picture.
Okay.
Right, so there's a
What's
picture
the list of evidence?
Yeah, the evidence isn't important. The doodle's the most important thing.
Okay.
Alright, safe? This is a safe, isn't it? Safe, that wood is ripe with intrigue. Oh, hi, Gerald!
Hello! Welcome!
Welcome. We made it into Chief Gant's office. I don't know how long you've been watching, but we made it in after some fussing about a bit.
Yes.
Okay, if you say so. It looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it.
But we don't know it.
A 7-digit number. I think I just might know what it is. It's all 7s. Do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my birth date. It's... I have a better idea. Here goes nothing.
You think it's...
Yeah.
Ha! Work.
Bingo. What number did you enter? Whose birthday was that, pal? 7777777, the final ID card number on that record. What? The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean 777777? That ID card number? I think you're 1 7 shy this time. I made sure to read it. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. Say, anyone care to look inside? Yes, I care. Let's look. Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away? Look, it's,
It's the last piece!
a shard from a broken cup. This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? Something else in here too. Handprint. What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once.
Oh my god.
You think the chief made up the design? What?
I wonder if it's Goodman's handprint and he somehow got the print so he could open up the safe himself. Or like the... Maybe? Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, could be. You think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh, well, it was just a thought. that it? Is that all that was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. A piece of cloth with a handprint on it, and a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here! Great. Now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the SL9 incident? Come on! There's gotta be something we can show the detective! Well, let's show him the vase now.
Yes. Right. I can't examine. Well, let's see if there's anything else to examine first.
I think that's it.
I think it might be
nothing else in this room.
The window? The window!
You can look at the window. You can see pretty far from 15 stories up. If you were to drop that suit of armor from here... At first the chief wanted to use stained glass for this window. Really?
Looks like he did a little bit.
What? Yeah, he did. Why didn't he? They say he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view. Oh. Stained glass or not, it's a huge window.
Now, present.
Hey, Gumshoe, take a look at this vase. Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? I remember when the three of us put that back together. Ah, those were the days. Yesterday. It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right. One of the shards had an SL9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, that fragment we just found? You mean this one that was in the safe? Yes, that one that was in the safe. Huh! Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells! Let's see if it fits. Sample fragments. Okay, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. Mr. Wright, here's some glue. If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes.
Okay. Combine. Oh. Combine.
Hurrah! Did it. There! It fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. Gasp! In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. But... Hey guys, get a load of this! What is it? This piece he just attached, it's different from the others. Is it? There's a reddish line on it.
Someone was writing something.
A reddish line? That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe?
Why would he destroy it?
Unstable jar. Updated in the court record.
Okay,
Can we-
now there's the other piece.
What,
The fabric, the leather.
Can we fingerprint the piece? I guess we don't have it, right? But can we, how do we typically fingerprint things?
Well, let's present him with this then.
Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this. Hey, I know what that is. So, you want to take some fingerprints? It's a great idea, Detective. Alright, go to town. Sheesh. What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Go ahead, take my fingerprints. It's not your fingerprints we want to take. Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about that cloth we found in the safe. Oh, haha, I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor?
Lol.
Alright. Okay, Mr. Wright, let's check for prints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth. Then, once they've been absorbed into the prints, blow the rest away! What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. Alright, let's get this over with.
Wait, what? Oh. Well, I'll just do it everywhere. Whee! Like where the prints are. And below. Oh! No, it's not quite what I thought it would be.
I gave it my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? But it doesn't look like we'll get a clear result from this print. Okay, let's try a different let's try a different finger then.
So that was the thumb.
Try a different thingy.
Was it the thumb? No, I'm gonna try. Okay, now I get it. I thought I was just gonna dust the whole claw, but it's one. Okay. Whee! Looks like cocaine.
Let it snow.
Okay, this was the same one, wasn't it?
I gave it my best shot. That kind of print, it's not gonna be clear, etc., etc. Different thingy.
Okay. And it's not checkmarked? It's not. Okay. We'll just do one after the other.
Thingy, thingy. Show me the money!
Ooh, or that one's too
smudged. I gave it my best shot. No good. Different finger.
Third finger.
Let's go.
Whee!
Let's freaking go.
This one looks
Yes!
good. Okay.
Now it must be perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
So you thought it was gonna be Goodman, right?
It's not.
It's not Goodman.
It is.
That's pretty close. Isn't that it, Emma? What the hell? No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old.
What the fuck, Phoenix? Just tell her.
They aren't clear enough to get a match. She saw you do it. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints. Psst. Hey you, over here. What's going on here? What are the kids' prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now.
Ugh.
Oh, here, maybe you should hold on to this. Found in Chief Gant's safe. Evidence for something, but what? Bears Emma Sky's prints. Well, was that any help? You were amazing. Gerald says that Emma is dark. Ooh, the twist. She kidnapped herself! Held herself hostage. It all makes sense now. Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence.
I even uncrumpled it for you.
Yeah. Now, that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right? You in the coat? Eek! Chief Gant! We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then, I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But, sir... Now get out. Yes, sir.
It's okay. You'll get your job back.
We'll be on our way too, then. Wait, you, the one with the spiky hair.
It's like you forgot their names or something.
Yeah. Don't go yet.
Oh.
Me, sir?
She's got spiky hair.
No. I'd like a word with you. But sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright!
But, like, I'm not leaving this minor with you.
Yeah. Yeah, like, seriously. Look, pal, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time? Anyway, you listening to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. Alright. I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. I think you mean bullheaded. Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story! Let's talk to her! Can you pass me the popcorn? I'm very hungry.
You have to talk, you can't eat.
I need to eat. I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry.
Let's finish the scene first.
This whole scene? I have to admit,
Do your job.
Oh my god. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. I was more than a little perplexed at first.
I'm gonna have a piece of cake.
Good idea. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you were unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so, because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? So you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No. I think afraid of is more like it. Gasp! If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. ... For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom, may I ask, is this person you're speaking of? The one I am supposedly so frightened of. What is this person's name? Gant!
The first one.
Well, this guy? Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place.
Lol, you're...
Okay, girl. I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? Okay. Let's talk about it. We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was... me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. This goes all the way to the top! If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case. The list.
Well, I'm gonna go.
I just found this in the safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. You know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SO9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised. I cannot disobey the Chief's orders. Even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that.
Yes!
3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate in the murder of Detective Goodman. Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. What are the orders? Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car.
What a snake.
Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes. You were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct.
She finally admitted it!
I was trying
Not
to take...
doing it.
Yeah. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon? I mean Edgeworth's knife. No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SO9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him.
So she did stab him.
So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife.
Yeah.
That would be Edgeworth's knife? That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that's the reason for the bandage on your right hand? Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then... Flash. She saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Miss Starr, huh? But why did she stab him again?
We'll find out.
Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So, you hid Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it in Edgeworth's exhaust pipe, extremely visibly. Right, and then I called my sister to tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad... Oh, sorry. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean... Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. Oh, what's this? This is a bot, I think. Agonized pick. Sorry for bothering you. Promotion of your channel. Nope. Go away. We don't want any of your kind here. You bot. Okay, I'll deal with that another time.
Yeah, please. You've had enough.
Hungry. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room? I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator.
But I'm not an investigator.
Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial, there's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything! Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago?
Will we find out in court?
Will we
tomorrow?
Find out in court?
Oh! Final day, trial former.
Here we go.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to court. This is the defendant lobby, all right, but there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Oh. Well, I guessed wrong.
Good guess, though.
Edgeworth! You sounded like Gant for a second there. Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 7777777 ID number is, that is. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Flash! Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, Wright, and Chief Prosecutor Skye will be found guilty. But she didn't do it! I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. He's changing! He's growing! Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth? Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, Wright? Edgeworth, you mysterious son of a bitch.
This is it.
This is it. If I'm ever gonna find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now.
Okay.
Let's break her on the stand!
Oh my god.
Into tiny, squishy pieces.
Squishy, squishy.
Our court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. Halfway through the trial? Question mark? But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Gant. Hi, everybody. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Udgy. Been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work. Ha! That's a good one. Don't think I can top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours?
Wants to get away with murder.
Yeah. I propose you let me go free. Lana, that is to say the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was her testimony, but we're gonna have to pick apart.
Yeah,
So.
like we were gonna call her anyway, right?
Yeah, I think so.
What's this all about, defendant? I'd just like to make one simple request and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No, Lana! Looks like she's holding something on her
It's
back.
just her hand.
You can't. Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But Lana! Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. This can't be happening. It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant...
Except... Come on, say something.
Hold it!
Yeah, but it's not him. It's him.
One
Edgeworth.
moment, Your Honor. Mr.
I
Edgeworth?
forgot his name. I was like, Edgeworth is gonna say something.
The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you,
I hate him.
but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut? Hmm?
Not in your life.
I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant.
Oh, all bets are off.
What? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be.
Yes.
Papa, I'm a big boy now. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal, hmm? Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh? To who? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Miss Sky. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it.
I mean, I wonder if Emma accidentally killed that detective somehow.
Dark? Oh, not Dark.
Not Dark.
The detective,
yeah, the marshal guy.
Very well, this court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant? Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Miss Emma Sky, please take the stand. Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. And the bull by the horns. Now then,
be hot.
Oh. I love it when you take control, Daddy. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Sky. My occupation, I'm Lana's little sister. I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark killings. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember, this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Well, alright, I guess I'll say. Well, okay then. He sure gave in fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. 2 years ago. What you gotta say? I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. Press, press, press.
Press, press, press.
Press, 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 press.
First, save. Okay.
Hold it! 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Yes. She was second in command. Very strong yes from Emma.
Yes.
Yes, she was second in command under then Deputy Chief of Police Gant. My sister, she was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Sky used to be quite the pair. I believe they shared the same office. That's right. I'd always sit at my sister's desk and dream about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day, too. The police department and prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. A man came running in and took me hostage. A man? Who dis? Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on the day of that ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Sky in Gant's office.
There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Neil Marshall rescued me.
What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were two people present during Dark's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gant and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. I almost forgot about Gant. Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony. I assume that would also be why he was the first to run after Dark.
When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was as good as dead.
And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in?
I don't clearly remember what happened then. But I'll never forget what I saw in that instant.
What was it?
Can you tell us about that?
Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out.
The lights?
It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on and lightning struck nearby.
So the electricity went out. Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right?
Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind.
I see.
I told the detective about what I saw then.
The detective?
Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case.
Detective Bruce Goodman, the Vickman. The Vickman. I don't know what I said. Hear more!
Yeah, hear more.
So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago.
Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial.
And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw. Sorry, I'm a little mealy-mouthed today.
It's okay.
Yes, but
You're doing great.
Thank you.
at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture.
A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? Ask about picture.
I mean, it's the picture on the other side of the evidence list.
Yeesh. This picture the witness drew, I believe it has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost.
Objection! It's not lost, I have it here.
Should I do that, or should I press?
Yeah, no, just go straight to the objection.
Okay.
Mr. Edgeworth, this little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence! Huh? Hey, I'm not
They're
the
playing
bad
this
guy. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be.
But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Behold! This is the evidence list for the SL9 incident. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over? Flip it and reverse it? Nah! What's this? Yes, what is that?
Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew.
Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list. Huh? These lists, they're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one, a mega list. You can see the marks here, where they were torn apart from each other.
So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you.
What? What? Order! Order! But, Miss Skye, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list?
Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor.
Wait a minute.
If this list was torn in half, then that means...
Your Honor! Are you all right, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head.
If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list.
Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. I've never once turned the paper over. Let's see. Something wrong?
Do you even have to ask?
Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. It's that thing. What? I love it. The little music. That's that thing. That thing that was dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives.
I guess he was out of scrap paper. Evidence list restored and updated in the court record.
Very well. Witness, will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago?
Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at that picture. Emma's picture. Put your picture on. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant.
So you didn't see who actually was who.
It's 2 men struggling.
To think a flash of lightning could
One
burn...
could be a woman.
I guess you're right. 2 humanoid shapes.
To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind.
Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw.
Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
It doesn't.
The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
I guess we just press.
First we save. And then I actually want to... I don't want to present.
You just want to look at the evidence list?
I want to look at it.
Yeah.
I'd automatically just did this. So... Wait. Did she draw that as well?
No, it was a joke. The joke was that Gumshoe used it for his design notes when he was making the Blue Badger.
Gotcha.
So it's irrelevant.
Gotcha. Okay. Cute.
Did you draw this picture right after the incident? I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. At first I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything.
During that time, the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon Gant and Lana Skye.
2 or 3 days later, the memory should still have been fresh in her mind.
Excuse me, witness. But can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black?
The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. So at the time, you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who came... Oh, sorry. So at the time, you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue. No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright, and I was knocked to the floor. You were knocked to the floor? Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, And that's when lightning flashed. Poor Emma, I'm just glad she wasn't hurt.
What happened after the lightning flashed?
After that, I must have fainted.
You mean, you didn't see the actual murder take place?
No, I'm sorry.
The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. You really need to torture this girl any further.
What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. Anyway, this picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant.
Nothing. Not a damn thing. Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw?
Of course, this is the exact scene.
Wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives? Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? No, of course not. I'd better watch out, or he might find some way to cut my salary.
I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me.
Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture? Huh?
Oh, well... That's strange. She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind, and yet, there's clearly a contradiction here.
I'm just gonna say it again. But I think I know what the contradiction is.
The fact that it... Okay, is it the fact that the thing is square? Or is it the fact that it says exactly what I saw, but it's all silhouettes? Stabbed in the back. Hold on, go to the picture. Is he being stabbed in the back?
Well, even when, like, the image that we see doesn't look like a guy on his knees from what I remember. Like, I think they were both up more.
I don't know if that's a contradiction though.
Yeah.
I think just present the photo on the last piece of testimony. She says.
I don't think showing the photo would contradict it.
But that's where we said there's a contradiction.
No, I think the contradiction is with the autopsy.
Okay.
I'm gonna say first.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction.
What? But I still remember it just like it was yesterday.
Yeah, you may have seen that, but then more shit happened when you fainted.
Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report?
It's either how he's holding it at him or the fact that there is no point on this weapon because the tip was left inside of him. So I'm gonna go with this first because it's more obvious, but
the contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at that knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken. Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. I know how to interpret stick drawings.
But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too.
If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body.
It was the conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer.
I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Ah! What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand.
Yeah, but this...
Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there. Well, it could, but... That's right, but what does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. There's so many ways. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? I love this face. It's one of my favorites. About a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, Wright. All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Ah! Order! Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story, there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Extremely likely.
What's the trophy?
Yeah. Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's. Could there have been one? There is one! If the witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can't just be explained away by a simple observational error.
Mr. Wright.
In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume, then, that you have some information about this other broken knife? If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon! You have to go to the photo, I think.
What?
Well, because there's no knife in the...
No.
Okay, fine. If anything's broken here, it's you. Huh?
Maybe you're right.
I'm sure this must all be very amusing to you, Mr. Wright. May I remind you the fate of Miss Lana Skye hangs in the balance?
Whatever. You're right.
You always doubt me.
I do doubt you. It just, to me, I'm like...
I understand the logic of this game. You have to show the knife.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna... Let me pause. Okay, fine, whatever.
The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. This is a picture of the awards ceremony. Oh, sorry. This is a picture of the awards ceremony. Oh!
So the only reason why I didn't want to show the photo is the fact that, like, it's a photo. This was, like, the actual trophy. But I guess the actual trophy doesn't have the image of that thing, so... Mm-hmm. Yes.
Something I knew instantly. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Stop freaking out. It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall's holding. That's a broken knife! As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Water! 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 Neil Marshall was awarded the King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh? And why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors Award knife was a murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Oh! But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here?
Well, the knife could have still been the murder weapon. Just, yeah.
It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Hold it. Who dis?
Wait, I remember now. I remember everything!
I'm gonna say it.
Mind Palace, Mind Explosion. Witness?
Mr. Edgeworth,
What is it?
could you show me your evidence list again, please?
His list? The one with that picture scribbled on the scribbly.
Scribbled on the back.
Right.
I knew it. This picture? I'm the one who drew it.
What? You drew that?
That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget.
The nightmare of the blue badger.
Yeah.
That haunting music. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. To the point where even where I saw the picture that I drew on a piece of paper.
Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. But it can't be the blue badger. The blue badger didn't exist.
Yeah.
So it's something else with the same shape as the blue badger. Like the vase coming towards her, cracking her over the skull. Would you please tell us what you've recalled, Miss Sky?
Yes, Your Honor.
First the knife mix-up and now the blue badger. This should be interesting.
It's like, what the fuck?
I
I don't know how to deal with this one.
I always like how he's like, I think I get an idea of the picture, and then like a whole bunch of other crazy shit happens, and he's like, what the hell is going on?
How does it work? Emma's recollection.
When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow.
He wasn't in the room. Oh, the shadow. Okay. This is certainly most unusual. Try impossible. The chief of the detectives hadn't even designed him. Hadn't even designed him, I say, until this year.
Designed,
That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Stop, please, don't pursue this any further. Lana? What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Sky. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, Please detain the defendant. Seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Alright.
And save.
When I saw that man raise a knife.
When you say that man, I assume you refer to Joe Dark?
Yes, at least I think it was him.
You think.
All I could really see were shadows.
Shadows on the wall. The power outage that immediately preceded the incident is also documented in the prosecutor's office reports. So then you...
I panicked and rushed toward both of them.
Why would you do something so dangerous?
What else could I have done? He was about to stab Mr. Marshall.
She seems convinced that Dark was the one holding the knife. But as we've just theorized, Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife.
Well, I didn't know that at the time. When that Dark guy knocked me down, all I could think was I've got to help that other person. I think I knocked away the man with the knife.
What do you mean, you think?
It all happened so fast, and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did, it's all kind of a blur.
Miss Sky was almost killed before she was witness to a murder about to take place. With so much happening in a matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural.
I saw the man about to stab the other person who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife.
What you did was very brave, young girl. So then what happened next?
Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger.
Are you sure about this?
Of course. See? I even drew a picture of him here.
But it was the chief of detectives who thought up this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The blue badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable.
I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before. Somewhere. Now I finally remembered.
Oh brother, just when you thought this thing had caused enough commotion. Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing?
He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow.
His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face with his winning smile and all?
That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns.
This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken. Must be mistaken. That may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation? What? If so, then by all means, please tell us what this shadow really was. My working bed is the vase, but I'm not sure.
Like, upside down, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it Emma saw when the lightning flashed? Who? But also, she said it wasn't in the room. Who is the blue badger? I just might know. It could be Gant, because he has those tufts that look like horns. The blue badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture. Yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that's now sitting in this very room!
Mr. Wright!
In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in that instant? Please show us this mysterious blue badger look like. Okay, maybe it is the vase.
Yeah,
Because we can't present Gant, and he
just-
doesn't look like the blue
I'm just
badger.
checking. Yeah, because he doesn't. Yeah,
He looks like an owl.
yeah, I'm gonna say this.
The mysterious blue badger was in fact this!
But that's
No, what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar.
But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger.
Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint? I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this from. It's, like, wait. Do it so that the spout is only slightly up.
What do you mean?
Like, right there-ish.
Why is it so hard? Why did they make it like this? Okay.
Like that.
Okay, we're gonna present.
This isn't right. I've got to make it look more like the badger. Allow me to remind the defense its case hinges on this drawing. If Mr. Wright can't match the shape the witness drew, we cannot accept this claim. I've got to find just the right angle. Maybe I should rotate it vertically a bit more, or horizontally? You have to be perfect. I've got to show them the correct angle.
I wish it wasn't... It isn't this. No.
Maybe, can you rotate it like 180 degrees? And then up? Wait. Go so fast.
Oh my god. I wish it was easier to control, but the frickin' controller like does a weird thing. Oh my god. Stop turning the way I don't want you to. Fuck me.
Can I try it?
Yes, please. Oh, God, I'm frustrated. Or I guess you can use the R and L buttons. Yeah. That might help. Oh, that would definitely help. Okay.
Like,
yeah.
This, right?
Yeah. Yeah, good. Thank you. Come on.
Well, is this a miracle or what? No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger. No. It can't be. Order! Order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this.
What if she pushed him into that statue with the real knife? When she pushed Marshall away from him. You know the statue had a real sword on it? He got stabbed in the back. She like pushed him into it.
Oh, yeah. Stabbed in the back. That makes sense. Yeah. And she was knocked out by Gant bludgeoning her this thing, or someone was hitting someone with this.
Yes. Did you read this? Read it anyways.
The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this.
Objection!
Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed, very well then. Please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar? The murder weapon? The murderer?
I'm gonna say, because I can for some reason in this moment. Okay. The location? No.
Not the location.
We already know the murder weapon's different.
Yeah, so I think the murderer...
Yeah.
Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime.
Thank you for doing that work for us.
It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gant's office. Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body? From Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. Yeah, you got it. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall? Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit?
Ah!
The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes, there is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless... I don't know if I can go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Rough.
Yeah.
Everyone is silent. You're a murderer!
No.
Electric chair!
Oh my god.
Mr. Marshall died because of me?
You're a hideous murderer!
Oh my god. Stop.
No!
Low battery.
Thud.
What time is it?
It's 8:19. 8:20.
Oh, okay. It shouldn't die before that.
I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. What? What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. Yes, It certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence.
If we don't have evidence,
Then we'll have to rely on testimony.
technically testimony is evidence. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. This has all been a wild goose chase from the very beginning.
Touché, Miss Sky. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility.
You mean do vocal noises whenever ... dots and stuff like happen? I like when you do that. Yeah, that's
Little
perfect.
gasps, yeah. You mean there's still another possibility?
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message.
On the jar.
And a ja. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life, in one manner or another. That's impossible.
Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you.
I'm gonna say, even though I'm sure I know what it is.
A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist?
I've got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer?
This is what Gant had on Lana to control Lana.
Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek. The truth! No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased.
This is the message left by the deceased.
This is that blue badger from before, right?
For a second I thought we had clicked the wrong thing.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what?
Oh, is he just going to speak the killer's name?
If that thing could, I'm sure it would.
Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here on the surface of this jar.
What do you mean?
If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. It looks like
someone wiped the blood away.
Yes, but notice. For some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away.
Yes, there's a line here. Drawn in
It
blood.
does say Emma.
Does it?
Yeah, the middle thing is an M, and see E, and then A.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
So what you're saying is these dots were once lines.
Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message.
One that someone apparently wiped away.
Okay, but like, he would have known that Emma didn't try to kill him on purpose. Like, anyway.
Yeah, like, it's pretty shitty to be like, I'm gonna put her in the electric chair!
Yeah.
The blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions.
Precisely so. What we need to do is connect these points. And the victim's message will become apparent.
No. Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us?
Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. I've got to connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim would have written, given the circumstances. His murderer's name.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Gasp. Silence. The whole people. She may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. I did not see that coming. Seaworthy, can't say I didn't warn you.
Yeah, but now Lana has nothing to lose.
True. Chief Gant. Oh yeah, because he's still on the hook for this case.
Yeah.
Do you understand the implications of what you've done?
What are you talking about?
2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not?
Huh.
Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable.
I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice.
What?
We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter, even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge.
What about the judge?
What about... Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied.
What's going on in the prosecutor's office? They might have sent an innocent man to his death.
How could he just stand there like it wasn't his fault?
Order! 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 We're getting kicked out. The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial's headed, no one knows. To be continued.
Yes, please. Trial ladder.
Trial ladder. Ladder. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Oh, but I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
But I didn't do that.
I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
Seems so.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Evidence law securely slipped into pocket. Explains the 2 rules of evidence law.
There's only 2.
Yeah. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, Detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Mr. Edgeworth! The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility has been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. And the Sky found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him. No matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Let's get back in the room. So we have to get Gant to introduce the evidence himself. That's going to bring him down. Or, like, accept it as, like, you know, useful. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
I'm first just gonna see if we can check out the book.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. So technically we already got away with showing evidence that I don't know if he would have approved of.
Yeah.
But I guess he did because he wants to fuck up Edgeworth.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor? The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Yes, and so they may. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, right. Normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. Duh! You think I may have manipulated the witnesses. I didn't say that! It's just, you see, everyone's been talking, and I like rumors. Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. The solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright. Huh? That darn low battery.
No,
You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls. The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer.
So, Gant?
Gant. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? ... As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? Yes, true. All right, bailiff! Please escort Mr. Gant to the stand.
There he is, the demon himself.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch.
Well, you'll be on your way to prison soon.
Your name and occupation, sir.
Worthy, are you sure you want to do this?
Your name and occupation.
So, you want to play hardball, eh?
Please, Mr. Gant.
Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police.
Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony.
Oh, righto! What's with the grim face?
First, let's clear up this SL9 incident.
Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already.
There are still some things unaccounted for.
Oh? Like what?
Like the role you played in all of this.
Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
You're openly threatening me on the stand? Weapons?
Sure! Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to.
What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks.
Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Very well. The witness may now begin his testimony.
Can't wait to see his
I know, when he, yeah. He's no longer so confident.
Yeah.
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
But now you had blackmail over Lana.
Yeah.
Is that when Dark was arrested?
Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. Remember when that guy got stabbed? When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head when he went to bed and he couldn't get up in the morning.
I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut.
If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I better hit him hard and fast. By pressing him on everything,
Yes.
slowly and methodically.
Yeah.
As I recall, the ceremony was held at the police department that day.
Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that.
Was the defendant, Lana Skye, also present in the room?
I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. To make a long story short, we slipped up. Power outage didn't help.
So the two of you ran immediately after him, right?
That's right, but Dark made it into the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky.
What's this about a power outage?
Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though. It's not funny. Went to my office, I found Lana there.
Could you tell us what you saw?
It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor? Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls.
I wonder if Camille didn't actually write Emma's name on the jar. If he actually set things up before Lana got there, and then left to Kate, you know, I don't know how much time there was, but I wonder if he staged it for Lana to discover it. Anyways, it might be a 2-3D chess for him, but...
Well, I mean, yeah, I think...
I also think that maybe that's not how it happened either.
Yeah. Because I feel like he would be in the room. Or, like, in terms of, like, the staging of the crime scene and the shard of the knife, like, did Lana do all that?
No. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Like, I mean, she does have a propensity for, like, stabbing people and, like, doing weird things, but,
Did you read this?
Yes. Poor girls. Poor girls. Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done.
Well, she would have if she set it up already.
Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved. So that means... you found the body near Lana's desk? We should have Lysol'd his office.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, not that it would have lasted after 2 years.
You got it cleaned every day, too.
Yeah. That's right. I think you said earlier, it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway, as you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt, but moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything,
Stare at me.
you'd better off staring at the court record. Worthy, always the smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. Okay, so the jar, right? I mean, that's what we presented last time. We were trying to convince people that there was... Okay.
Also, where was this? What does this have to do with everything?
We don't know yet.
Like...
Oh, we could do, the... half of this list was found in Gant's desk. To make a long story short, we slipped out, the power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana. I think just go to one of the forgery. It's either that or the jar. Not that.
This?
Either the list or the jar, I think. Because we'll have to look at like what the log line is, right? Found in Chief Gant's safe.
Yeah,
That's a little bit more incriminating.
Yeah.
You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery, but I'm afraid that's a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example. That's the blue badger you showed us earlier. The judge has no object permanence. He's like, ah, the blue badger! A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier, so either one probably would have worked,
Yeah.
was actually found inside your desk.
It was found where?
You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. He's gonna strike those evidence, though, because they were obtained illegally.
Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this?
Oh! Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy! So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery.
Who, me?
Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that?
Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence.
Yeah.
Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto?
However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation.
Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Only I'm exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment.
What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office. And their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together.
Oh, so he's gonna talk about it, okay.
Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
But they're not useless because they have to do with it, right?
Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor?
when investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
You don't understand that I'm the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know.
All right, Udgy. In return, though...
I know. That place, right?
Huh?
What are these guys, telepathic? What the hell was that?
It's a BDSM moment.
Meet me at the bathhouse.
Meet me at the bathhouse, Udgy, and, we'll, I'll do that favor you asked for.
Yes, quite. I love your strong, orange, spray-tanned hands.
Evidence and forgery.
Well, I know you could have planted them in my office.
Okay. I'm just gonna press it.
Okay. I'd appreciate you stop making up these ridiculous allegations.
Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that.
What? I'll have you know, back in the day I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped...
Mr. Wright, what are you saying?
Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're gonna need it later.
Later? What are you talking about?
What else? I'm talking about when Righto's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal.
I've never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. You can't prove when. What do you mean by that?
This is all purely hypothetical, of course, but suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery.
If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery...
I'm not through speaking yet, Righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless.
Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation?
Would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced.
Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient?
Right.
The Chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. We're 10 minutes from 9, by the way.
Okay. We may go over. I kind of want to finish.
Finished all... what? His
Well,
cross-examination?
Yeah, at least the trial.
The trial?
We'll see how long
I'm
it
very
goes.
hungry.
Think about it.
You can survive.
There's no reason I participated in a forgery.
That feels like something that we'd be able to contradict in some way. How can you look me in the eye and say that?
Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil?
I'm not sure I care for the word murder here, but in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye.
Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there's one very large benefit you've reaped from all this.
Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit?
That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police.
Ugh.
The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive.
Oh, that's a good one.
Huh?
Do you really think I'm that incompetent?
What do you mean?
Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little.
Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway.
Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at.
So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else.
Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I.
Which is true.
There, it's out in the open now. Aji, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little?
By all means, please do. I'm useless.
I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me.
I'm gonna press this too.
Yeah.
Nothing in it for you.
Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours, truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again.
You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone.
Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised.
You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though.
Oh, that's a good one, Worthy.
Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Yes. Sure, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
That's not what I mean.
Very well, then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence?
Lana.
Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye, the defendant?
I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Or a series of unfortunate events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit from all of this?
He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets?
Holy shit, I hate this judge.
He's a... Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. I was thinking of the little fingery guys.
Admit it, Chief! You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her.
Righto, my boy, you have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something.
What?
Do you have any proof of this? That I control Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a
Well,
thing?
she should now because there's no reason for her to be a puppet anymore.
Yeah. Lana, she's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against
Okay,
Grant.
but Emma's already found out.
Yeah.
I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture.
Unless... that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? Which one would that be?
Of course I'm talking about... the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. The screwdriver. Wait, no. That was for Edgeworth. Never mind. Whatever, it's fine. Worthy, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Yes, what do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
What?
What?
Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That's it. Impossible!
Aren't you supposed to be impartial?
Yeah. Your Honor, I was merely reiterating, what Mr. Edwards said in easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. No turning back for us now. We're in this together. Partners, you might say. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Gonna save.
Is this when we show the ID list again?
I wonder. I was thinking about that too.
Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. Just because they keep mentioning his rank, so I feel like they're trying to hint us towards that. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got. And it better be good.
I save again. Just so we don't have to skip anything. Or, no.
Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
Okay, I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah.
This is the ID card list.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number.
Unless...
It's your number.
What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
7 digits? You don't mean?
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant! Yes! He's breaking! You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime!
Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say?
Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations.
And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law.
I will be doing that punishment.
Personally, with a ping pong paddle. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you. About the use of this ID card.
Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime?
What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want.
Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone?
I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room.
Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he?
Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days.
You hadn't seen him? In days? Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? It's evidence transferal. This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. This is not the purpose. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime.
Oh my god. What is the proof?
Is there something that says, it's evidence transferal day?
It's from past case of Edgeworth's, brought back to his office by Gant's request.
Uh-huh. Only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it.
That
No, wait.
that could be.
Yeah.
Because it was evidence transferal day. This isn't gonna say. Wait.
No, I don't think so.
We don't need that. Not in Chief's Notes.
That's not coming to play yet.
It might be the evidence locker.
I think that would be... I mean, that's the best piece of evidence, because we don't have Goodman using his ID. The other thing I wanted to look at, actually, was... the... Fuck, what was it? Go to the right, I'll see it. Oh, can you look at... Yeah, the lost and found note. I just want to see if there's any reason... No, it's Chief of Police. He's a Chief of Police. I think... this... because it has a date on it, it can only be submitted to the... Isn't he the Chief of Police?
Yes.
So...
Okay, I'm gonna try this.
Yeah. He wouldn't be writing it if it wasn't there. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the Chief of Police. Yet you're in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh! Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on. Let me guess what you're gonna say next. I, the Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait! The Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room.
And save.
And then this is where the locker comes in, probably. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Sorry, but that's not possible.
You're no match for two of these people going after you.
According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. Oh. Chief Gant, you didn't! The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there?
I was at the police department the entire day, you know.
And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal.
Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you! Take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so.
Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office.
And save.
And all this time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. How could the chief have moved the body?
Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
It's screwdriver time, baby. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant use this!
Yeah, that's true. I was like, this is coming up, brought back to his office by Gant's request.
Yeah. Which would make him use his car. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body.
What's that? A screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case?
Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here?
It's here because...
Aha!
I was asked to go.
By Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it in here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here.
With the dead body in my car.
Mm-hmm. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to.
You mean I...
The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Moved emotionally. No, sorry, getting excited.
Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car?
Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye.
Order! 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 What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations?
Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It's a photo of the body being taken it's a photo of the body being taken from the trunk.
Chief Gant, please say something.
I believe... your time's up.
My time's up?
Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're going to make it in time for the early bird special.
But the cross-examination isn't finished yet.
And save.
It's time for the book.
Yeah.
Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now.
What? This is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
So you're going to just run away after all this?
Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now.
Well,
You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with.
Say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright?
Save.
Okay, maybe not the book itself, but bearing in mind the book.
Yes.
Your Honor,
Give any concrete proof. Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body.
do I have any concrete proof?
I don't know if I do.
I don't think we do because Lana just told us that. But we could bring her up to the stand and maybe get her to do it. Let's look at what we got. No evidence shall be shown that the approval unregistered evidence must be relevant to the case on file. Found in Chief Gant's safe.
To murdering Detective Good. I think I might say no.
Yeah. Now you're showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor, at present I have no conclusive evidence. Humph! See, Edgy?
In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief.
What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Fredo. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Edgy, I'll leave the rest to you. I mean, we might be wrong.
Yeah.
I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency.
Ah!
Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial.
We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony.
A lady who knows the truth. Another witness.
In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony.
But Chief Gant has invoked his right. Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify.
There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today.
It's Lana. I think it is Lana, but I'm just...
Lana!
Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth... Lana Sky, babies!
The defendant is Lana Sky.
She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task, to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Prosecution has no objections, Your Honor.
Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in
Hold on. Is Emma maybe coming back?
Huh?
Yeah.
Chief!
Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat.
Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder.
This isn't good.
Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then. I got a lunch date to meet. Bye!
Okay. If there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess.
I think we should call it there.
But should we?
Yes. Yes.
I just want to know what's happened. I just want to see it.
It will wait for next week.
Or Wednesday?
I am seeing Katie on Wednesday.
But Paper Mario comes out this Thursday, and I want to play Paper Mario next Monday.
Well, we can play Paper Mario on a Wednesday.
Or this next Wednesday.
Yeah.
But I need to know how it happens.
Hey,
it's okay. You know we're already over.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming back.
And it might take
That's the
a
thing,
longer
like,
time
it's
too.
gonna be
Like
a
it might
long time in
go.
the trial,
It might go
whether-
past 10, which is really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go to webcam only.
Ah.
Thank you once again for watching.
If you're watching
thank
this
you.
after the fact, thank you for watching. Catch us on a live stream. We stream every Monday. We are thinking of doing some bonus streams on Wednesdays again. So keep an eye out for those. Follow us on Instagram. We give all our stream updates there. And bless. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah, just bless.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Bless.